I think what separates me from everybody else is my mental, my work ethic, my risk taking, punching when people say I shouldn't, not moving when people think that I should.
The best pound-for-pound fighters in the world are almost always the guys with the fastest processing, the fastest thinking. And Crawford is that guy right now.
I'm still sharpening my tools, but at the same time, I'm learning on the job as well. I don't ever want to feel like I'm done learning.
His mind is the strongest weapon. Like, he's one of the smartest fighters of all time. His boxing IQ, that's what wins you fights. You know, the physical is the easy part, the mental is the hard part, and he has mastered that mental. He's been like that since a kid.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Sharpen them tools. Yeah. Sharpen them tools, bud. Double-edged sword.
Here we go.
Yeah. We're gonna cut him up like a steak.
He has a toolbox full of tools. And it's just about using the right tool at the right time.
We're getting there. We can fight tomorrow, but we still got a little more sharpening to do. Then we're gonna be ready. So we taking it how it come, one day at a time. Can't rush greatness.
You know, and if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter.
Because he could be avoided by the top name brand fighters, and also because he happened to come along at a time when there weren't a lot of name brand fighters in his division.
Oh, you haven't fought anybody and nobody know who you fought. You know exactly who I fought. You a fighter, you know. So why would you go out there and try to diminish the guys that I fought because you hear the media say that? None of that matters because I'm here now.
Canelo's words carry the weight of a champion stepping into the fire on September 13th. His confidence is unshakable. He is certain that he will conquer Crawford under the bright lights. Even Joel Diaz, coach of Canelo's former opponent Dmitry Bivol and Israel Madrimov, didn't hold back about the fight. Canelo should win. I see Canelo beating Crawford by a convincing decision. There is no way Crawford beats Canelo. For Diaz, the outcome feels written already, as if Canelo's hand is destined to be raised. He spoke as someone who has seen Canelo up close, understanding both his strengths and limits. Diaz made it sound like Crawford's best weapons would simply bounce off Canelo's armor. The fight, he suggested, won't be about chances, it will be about levels. And in his eyes, Canelo's level is untouchable. He then shifted from the ring to the sport itself, warning, Canelo is the king of the sport, and business-wise, Canelo can't lose. If Canelo loses, boxing loses a lot of prestige. But don't get me wrong, Crawford is one of my favorite fighters and pound for pound the best of this era. Diaz placed Canelo on a throne, painting him as the guardian of boxing's pride. A defeat, he warned, would ripple far beyond one night. It would scar the sport itself. Crawford still earned his respect, hailed as the finest of his generation. Yet Diaz's conviction never cracked. Canelo, he insisted, cannot lose.
I mean, nothing more needs to be said about Canelo Crawford, two icons fighting each other. But when you have two young guys that are undefeated, both big knockout records that aren't going to run, both very confident, they wouldn't have taken the fight if they didn't think they were going to win. And it couldn't be on a bigger stage than the co-feature at Allegiant Stadium on Netflix. So we're really excited about it. This is the type of fight that Dana was saying that, you know, the fights need to happen at the right time, not, 5 years past the due date. And, like His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh was saying, this is definitely not a Tom and Jerry type of fight. These guys are going to come out there and bang, and I think the crowd is going to love this fight.
Tom Loeffler, the former promoter of Gennady Golovkin, set the stage with his opening thoughts. For Loeffler, this isn't just another boxing event, it's two giants colliding on the biggest platform possible. His words carried the thrill of a fight that comes at exactly the right time, not too late, not too early. He painted a picture of two fearless warriors, both ready to put it all on the line. The energy in his description made it clear fans should expect nothing short of fireworks. Loeffler then shifted focus to Canelo's current state, acknowledging the changes over time, but refusing to downplay his threat.
Canelo has definitely slowed down since those fights, but even with that, he's still a tremendous force in boxing. Big body puncher, physically very strong, great timing as a counter puncher. So you can't take anything away from Canelo, and Crawford has one of the best boxing IQs in the ring. So it's a great matchup. It's one of those fantasy matchups that people always talk about, and they were able to make it happen for this show here, and I'm really looking forward to this.
He reminded everyone that even with age creeping in, Canelo remains a beast in the ring. His power, timing, and physical strength make him dangerous every second of the fight. But Loeffler also praised Crawford's brilliance, pointing to his unmatched ring IQ. By placing both men on a pedestal, he gave the fight the aura of a dream matchup. His words carried the sense that what fans are about to witness is more than history. It's fantasy turned real. He went further, breaking down the clash of styles between Canelo and Crawford, emphasizing their strengths in the purest technical sense.
I don't want to take anything away from Canelo because Crawford has a really high ring IQ, but so does Canelo. Canelo's more of a counterpuncher. He sets traps. Crawford, I have to give, with his boxing ability, his hand speed, his foot speed. Canelo physically, I would say, is a little bit stronger. He can kind of impose his will on it. It's such a great matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if either one were to win.
Loeffler showcased his deep eye for the sport, describing how both men bring contrasting but equally deadly weapons. He pointed to Canelo's ability to trap opponents and counter with brutal precision. At the same time, he praised Crawford's speed, mobility, and intelligence as the perfect foil. The balance in his words created an air of uncertainty. Both men are capable of destroying the other. It left the impression that this isn't a one-sided story, but a razor-edge battle. The conversation then turned to experience, where Loeffler highlighted the importance of big stage battles in shaping a champion.
Canelo's been on this big stage before. I think people kind of dismiss him a little bit with that last performance that he had over there in Riyadh, but when you have an opponent like John Skull who's not going to engage, it's really hard to look good against someone like that. So I would give the edge to Canelo because he's been in that position before.
He suggested that Canelo's past under the brightest lights gives him the edge. While others may dismiss Canelo based on recent performances, Loeffler pushed back with conviction. He reminded fans that it's difficult to shine against opponents who refuse to engage. His words hinted that Crawford may face a very different Canelo, one hungry to prove the doubters wrong. It added a layer of suspense, painting the fight as a test of experience versus ambition. From there, Loeffler touched on one of the hottest debates: weight and how it may or may not shape the outcome.
I don't think the weight is as big as a lot of people are saying because Crawford probably walks around at that weight. Probably only has to drop a couple pounds, but he's the type of guy that can easily put on the muscle and the mass and use his hand speed, his foot speed to box. So I just think that if Canelo is able to impose his will and throw the body shots and throw some counter punches, I could see him, edging out a win on that.
His take cut through the noise, suggesting that weight isn't the obstacle many believe it to be. Crawford, he hinted, has already been walking around at that size, making it less of a shock to his body. Instead, the real question is whether he can use his speed and skill against Canelo's brute force. Loeffler envisioned a fight where body shots and counters could decide everything. His words made clear that whoever imposes their style will control the night. Then he zeroed in on one deadly weapon that could tilt the fight: Canelo's devastating body attack.
His body punches. He's got some great, either a counter punch to the head or he's got some great left hooks to the body that really are effective. So he can easily wear you down. So that I think that's what Crawford has to look out for is those tricky body shots that Canelo throws.
I think his body punches, Loeffler explained, he's got great counter shots to the head, but it's those left hooks to the body that are really effective. He can wear you down easily. That's what Crawford has to look out for, those tricky, punishing body shots that Canelo throws.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Crawford has to be really careful with those body shots. He definitely can't get lured into a firefight. He's going to lose. If it's a back and forth type of situation, that's not where Crawford wants to be. He wants to stay on the outside, use his his speed, his skills, and really. I see him boxing Canelo. Now, if he hurts Canelo, then he can go there and start going toe-to-toe. But, Canelo's the type of guy you don't want to stand in front of that guy because he really can start to pick you.
He spoke of those signature shots that don't just hurt, but slowly break opponents down round after round. The way Loeffler described it, Canelo's left hook to the body is more than a punch. It's a game changer. Against Crawford, those shots could sap his speed and timing until the openings appear. Loeffler's tone made it clear. Crawford cannot afford to take those punches clean. The suspense only grew, leaving fans wondering if even a genius like Crawford can withstand that punishment. Then, the focus shifted to strategy, the traps that Crawford must avoid at all costs.
I think he's one of the best fighters for more fun. He accomplished a lot of things too. Mexican with the American fighter is always...
He warned that a firefight with Canelo could spell disaster, stripping Crawford of his biggest advantages. Staying on the outside, using speed, angles, and intelligence, this may be Crawford's only chance. Loeffler's breakdown sounded less like speculation and more like a roadmap to survival. The way he framed it, Crawford must fight a near-perfect fight to win. And even then, the looming threat of Canelo's power lingers like a shadow over every round. Meanwhile, Canelo himself spoke with confidence, reflecting on the meaning of nights like this.
To have a good fight, you need both fighters. Boxing is you throw, you get in there and move your waist, move around a little bit, but a throw punches, get in there. That's boxing. But when you have one fighter like we saw with the skull, like running and running, that's not that kind of fight you want, right? And it's very difficult to close that waist and everything. You close him, he jump right away. It's very difficult. What kind of style?
His words carried a calm certainty, the kind that only comes from a fighter who has achieved it all. He reminded everyone that these clashes between nations and styles are what make boxing legendary. The stage, he insisted, is bigger than belts. It's about pride and history colliding. His tone showed not just respect for the sport, but also for the opponent across from him. Then came a note of caution as Canelo admitted, this fight will push boundaries in ways no one has seen before. It's going to be different for him, different in every single thing. We'll see how he handles that. There was mystery in his words, as if he knew the road ahead would be full of surprises. Even for a champion, that uncertainty added layers of tension to the story. What will break first, skill or composure? Canelo left no doubt that at this level, no fight is ever routine. And with that, the sense of danger surrounding the showdown only grew stronger.
I hope not. I think Crawford is not that kind of fighter. He's a different. He boxes.
He described the frustration of facing opponents who run, spoil, and rob the sport of its essence. In his voice was the hunger for a real war, where punches fly, risks are taken, and the crowd roars. It was more than a complaint. It was a promise that this fight won't be another dull chess match. Canelo demanded excitement, knowing boxing lives and dies by its action. His vision was clear. This fight must deliver. But with that fire, he also showed respect, expressing faith that Crawford is built differently. I think Crawford is not that kind of fighter. He fights, he boxes, and I like that. His words suggested Crawford won't run, won't dodge, won't deny the fans a spectacle. That respect carried weight, as if he knew Crawford was too proud to fight safe. It added suspense, because two men standing their ground means violence is guaranteed. The crowd, Canelo seemed to say, will get what they came for. From there, he went deeper, speaking about discipline, motivation, and the mindset required to carry legacy.
Motivate and discipline. So together is big and it's very different mentality, you know. I was the same mentality with William School, but I was in another country and this and that, very different. But this is different. You can feel it right away, and you know how big is this, how important is this for my legacy.
You could hear the seriousness in his tone. This isn't just another payday, it's a defining moment. Canelo spoke as if the stakes had grown beyond titles, touching his very identity and pride. The mention of legacy gave the fight a historic weight. For him, it's not just about winning, it's about proving his place in boxing's highest order. Then he stripped it back to himself, reminding the world of what he has always believed. My training, obviously, but I was born like this. I'm special. I've always known it. It was raw self-belief, the kind that makes champions unshakable. Even with critics circling, his confidence didn't sound forced. It sounded natural, as if greatness has always been his truth. There was an edge in his tone, a warning that he has no doubts about his uniqueness. For fans, it was both chilling and inspiring. And when Canelo speaks like that, you can't help but believe him. Soon after, he shifted again, acknowledging Crawford's ability while making it clear he sees the danger in his own way.
My training, obviously, but I born like that. I'm special. That's what I know. I knew this since
His words hinted at a fighter who isn't blind to risk, but refuses to be rattled by it. Canelo reminded everyone that skills alone can't topple someone who knows how to think, adjust, and endure. It was a glimpse into his calm mindset, where composure beats fear every time. He acknowledged Crawford's brilliance, but stood firm that intelligence and patience are his armor. In that balance, the suspense of the fight only deepened. The respect was there, but so was the defiance.
We need to be very focused and be careful. Anybody can carry you, right? But if you're smart and you know how to box and everything,
He spoke with honesty, calling Crawford smart, disciplined, and worthy of admiration. But at the same time, he reminded the world that he too carries those same qualities. The balance of respect and confidence made the matchup feel even more dangerous, like two mirrors colliding, each reflecting greatness back at the other. That ending left one thought echoing: something monumental is about to happen. But not everyone is convinced that Canelo will walk away with the win. Abdul Khan, who has sparred with Terence Crawford, brought a very different perspective.
I feel like Crawford got a better rhythm in southpaw, you know? I feel like he throw harder punches than orthodox, but I feel like he got a better rhythm in southpaw. You know, archer ego. And so, you know, but like I say, it don't matter what we gonna do, whatever we gotta do to win. That's Crawford. He gonna do whatever he gotta do to win. You know, like us, you know, we can suggest everything, we can tell him to do this, do that, but he has the mind on his own and the experience to know what's going on in the ring. You know, we on the outside looking in, you know. So like I say, we didn't study him, we didn't went over everything that we know that he does, and only thing you can do is go in there and do your best with it. And the only person that can know what's happening really in there is those two guys. So, you know what I'm saying, Crawford, he knows what to do to get the victory. That's it. If y'all can understand that, I want to.
Crawford, he explained, switches rhythm, stance, and tactics as naturally as breathing. In the corner, advice may guide him, but inside the ropes, Crawford is his own master. He doesn't fight with just muscle, he fights with instinct sharpened by experience. Bernie's confidence in Crawford's ability to read, adjust, and dismantle Canelo was absolute. To him, victory already belongs to his fighter. And when you put it all together, one thing is clear. This fight is about more than punches. It's about pride, legacy, and survival at the very top. Canelo enters with the confidence of a king, while Crawford's camp believes intelligence, hunger, and discipline will carry him through. Both sides are certain, but only one man will prove it under the lights now the questions remain. Will Canelo's power and experience be too much? Or will Crawford's intelligence and hunger rewrite the script? Can Crawford withstand the physical strength of a man who has dominated for so long? Or will Canelo finally meet the fighter who can take his crown? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns, updates, and exclusive boxing content. The real fight is just beginning.